The Harold Colbert Jones Memorial Community Center has been a work in progress for over 100 years as the organization continually evolves to meet the needs of youth and adults in Chicago Heights and the surrounding communities. To learn more, let's welcome Cheryl Roop, Executive Director of the Jones Center. Hi, Cheryl. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So you just had a big milestone, 100th anniversary. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, Jones Center was officially incorporated in 1917. We had a Presbyterian pastor, Reverend DeLuca, that came to the area and saw a huge need with all the immigrants coming into the area, and they started a lot of services for the families, English language classes, citizenship classes, and then a bunch of things to support the families. And so it was officially incorporated in 1917, so in November, we celebrated 100 years with a big gala that attracted 300 people from our community, and we just had a great time celebrating that milestone.
How has the Jones Center been able to sustain themselves all those years? It's wonderful. Yeah,
it's amazing when you read through the history and you see all the different events that they've lasted through, like the Great Depression and the wars and everything. I've been there for 15 years, and I know in that period of time we just still have great support from the Presbyterian churches. We get grants from foundations and some through the Illinois State Board of Education. United Way has been just a huge supporter of us. And so we have very diverse funding, and I think because of that we've been able to sustain ourselves because we don't depend on one source of funding.
And you have a little family history with the Jones Center, right?
I do, yes. My grandmother, she came to this country from Italy, and a lot of people were settling in Chicago Heights because there was a big industry and jobs. And my grandfather died when my dad was 5 years old, a very rough time for them, and she found a position at Jones Community Center. She taught English language classes, citizenship classes, and as I've been going through the archives with our 100th anniversary, I've been able to see pictures, find pictures of her, which is really pretty cool.
Oh, that's fun.
Right. And my dad also. My dad was in the basketball leagues at Jones Center, and so he grew up in there, and that really helped him and his generation just stay on track and not get in trouble, and just kept them, busy, just like today.
And he fondly remembers those basketball games?
Oh, yeah. They were very competitive, but in a good-natured way. He talks fondly of them. He's 89 years old, still alive today, and still remembers the good times that he had there.
So what kind of current programs do you offer at the Jones Center?
It's funny that so many years later we still offer a lot of the same type of programs. Of course, we make them relevant to today, but we have a computer lab, so we serve adults where they can come in and do job searches, do resumes, and just go online if they don't have that capacity at home. We focus a lot on the kids, and so we have out-of-school time programs. They come in after school at our site, and then we have programs at 2 school sites also. We have emergency services, so every Friday we serve a meal to the community. We have food pantry, used clothing. So really, our mission is to strengthen family ties, answer a community need, emphasize the worth of God's children, which of course is everybody. And so we reach out to that youth, and then we encompass the whole family with all the other services.
Do you still have services for immigrant families?
We do. We do. We have a great coworker, Juana Morales, who helps all the different people get the paperwork and do everything that they need now to become citizens or get what they need to work. And she's a great person and works very hard.
So what are some of the major needs still in the Chicago Heights area?
Well, it's still, if you look at the school statistics, it's very low income. All the schools are at least 92% and up low income. So there's still a need with job training. There's a need with plugging parents into resources and just helping them to know what's available in the community. But because we focus on the youth, because we have found that that's the biggest need. They really need somewhere to go in the out-of-school time hours and have experiences that they might not be able to have because their family either doesn't have the time or resources to offer them to them. So we try to fill that gap for them.
As the executive director, you probably run into a lot of the families. And what kind of feedback do you get, and how has it made such an impact on some of the families that you've met?
Oh, we get great feedback, and I think the thing is because we've been there so long, we know families that have started there, their kids were very young. Like I think of a boy named George who started there in our computer lab when he was 4, and his mom thought he got what he needed, but he loved it so much, he wanted to continue. And then his mom, who had come over from Mexico and never had a chance to get her high school diploma, was able to utilize some services and get her GED. And he stayed through the program all the way through high school. Eventually, he got a part-time job. He got one of our scholarships that we give to high school seniors. And now he's away in the Army, and his mom works at Jones Center. So, and that's not, that happens quite often where somebody comes as a young student and the family stays with us through the years and just learns and grows with us. So we get great feedback from all the families about how important it is for us to be there in the community.
That's a wonderful success story. Any others that you can think of?
I think of one particular young lady who started out as a young person in our programs from a family who nobody had gone to college before her, and her family was not going to let her go away anywhere. They were just afraid to let her go. But because, again, of that relationship with Jones Center and the trust that the family had with us, we worked with them to get her scholarships, to teach them what they needed to do for her to go. And she went away to a school called Cotty College. And when she hit kind of a hard spot where she didn't have the money and the books were getting kind of costly, we gathered all our people and said we really need to help out, and we were able to get her over that. And now she's getting very close to graduating. And there's a lot of stories like that where especially young ladies in the Latino community where the fathers are not quite ready to let them go, where we work with the families and they are able to go off to college and get their degrees.
So you have a capital campaign going on right now. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure, because we are going into our new century of services. We're calling it the New Century Capital Campaign. And we're just trying to look beyond what we have right now, grow our programming, help our facility, which is also very old and going on, and it's also 100 years old like we are. So we have some endowment needs for sustaining the programs, we have some building needs, we have some programming needs, and so we're just trying to really look above and beyond what we're doing now into the future.
So how could local churches get involved, or some folks that maybe would like to volunteer, how can they get involved?
Sure. Well, always they can go to our website, which is jonescenter.org, and we have some ways there. We have things all year round that people can help with. So whether it's a one-time event like our Brotherhood Banquet, which is our scholarship banquet, or our holiday events, or if somebody lives in the area and they can do things more often, we always are looking for tutors after school and people to help with the soup kitchen or the food pantry. So just go online at jonescenter.org or call us at 708-757-5395, and we'll hook you up.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing more about the Jones Center with us, Cheryl. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
I'm Anne Marie Gerhardt for Different Drummers and the Greater Chicago Broadcast Ministries. Keep the faith.